perfect execution, sweep across the map, and around about 32 minutes when we saw them blow up that Spectre, that's how Alliance would win this game after kind of the early window where they're slightly stronger. They're looking for those pickoffs. And when you just see Liquid position and how easy it is for them to kind of counter engage, I think the best fight and the fight that kind of told me Liquid would win this game was at 27 minutes, where like Alliance are barreling down mid for this tier 2. You then have this like blink duel to kill the Sven. And then you realize like Sven doesn't ever get to play this game anymore because all Boxy has to do is duel him. And then when they collapse on top of the duel, you have the Golem, you then suddenly have Haunt come out, and then you have to think about this like backline jump on the Earth Spirit and the Storm, and it's just so easy for Liquid to fight. But that was kind of the tail end of the game where they were just winning most team fights. I think early on, you did see how Alliance were playing. They were poking and prodding, they were forcing out these big spells, and they were allowing themselves to react into Liquid. The issue is, after they had that big fight, they weren't really getting anywhere into the map, right? They weren't getting deeper and taking these towers. They had that one moment where they took the Rax mid, but it wasn't as if that was them owning the game at that point. They were still scared of then the reset of Liquid. So a difficult game from Alliance, mainly a product of their draft not scaling beautifully. As Liquids does, but again, like they maybe could have done it. Like that 80 minutes into the game, they go for a deep dive onto a Spectre at the tri-camp. If the Undying had hit Flesh Golem on the Spectre and then used Finger, they probably killed him, and the fight's probably different. But they didn't have that synergy. They used Finger, then they Flesh Golemed, and the Spectre ran away with Manta, and at that point they'll get wiped. And like that 80-minute window pre-25 is kind of Alliance's best time. So a couple mistakes in team fights led them to have such a difficult game, and Liquid just dominating.
End up resorting to a more consistent support. Lion's a bit of an exotic pick, but Io, you let that slip through the draft. Obviously, it's going to be a first phase material, and Alliance take it right away.
I'm just now interested in, are we going to see a good pair with that Wisp, or is he just going to be that offlane support? Is he going to be stacking all the time? In any case, will Team Liquid respond to it the way some teams have? Like, we have seen some ancient apparitions versus the Wisp as well, but there's just so many different ways that you can answer this hero. They go with the Slardar. That's the easiest way, I think, to roll the hero right now. Tether the Slardar, give him attack speed, just go in that lane and dominate it.
I was going to ask, like, does FNG even play the Wisp for Alliance? I feel like from previous, I think they played one game where Hanskin played it, and also I don't think I've seen FNG even touch Iron history. So when they first pick it, I think they don't have that power in the draft as other teams do, where they can put it into either safe lane or that off lane role. And that's why you are seeing, for example, the Slardar pick up, because it complements who's going to be playing it.
Yeah, that lane pairing seems to be higher prioritized for Hanskin for sure, which means FNG still has some of his favorites still in the pool. Chen still hanging around if you want to go for some heal strats, Enchantress and Witch Doctor are also favorites of his that can lean into heals. Do you think Alliance care more about pairing it with the Slardar, and now at this point the IO pairing is kind of secured, and you can give Nico maybe a hero that isn't that IO dependent? Like, you don't need to give the, traditional melee pairings like a troll or something like that, but you can let Nico Baby have a more independent carry like a Slark. How do you see this IO in this game, Lizard?
Look, there are different stages of the game, and you adapt to that. This Wisp early on will be playing with Slardar. That's how you play with it, but you can still pick a carry that works well after the laning stage with the Wisp. You can pick something like a Sven, even if it's not banned out. Why not? Like, PA has been banned out by Liquid. We have seen Wisp PA before, and it's scary with Slardar as well. So, like, it's all about the stages of the game. Early on, you play the Wisp with the Slardar. Later on, you can still continue playing with the Slardar, but if your carry is good with the Wisp, then that's better. Why not just pick a core position one that's actually strong?
I am curious then, what would you say differs, T-Gov, between like a 4 and a 5 IO? What does a safe lane IO do differently than a 4 position off lane IO? Is it purely just the laning phase and that's it?
It's kind of also the direction in which you play after laning phase, right? If you're safe lane, you're moving deeper into your own side of the map, going for jungle and for farm. And then if you're position 4, you're playing with your off laner to pivot into your enemy jungle and force out that aggressive fight. So it's mainly just, I feel like, map movements and the general kind of gist of it, right? Because itemization, it's identical, right? You're going for the mech. unless your offlaner buys it before you, and then you feel like you have to suddenly not buy it because you get griefed. But no, like it's mainly about map movement and the rotations that you make through the map. So that's the key difference, personally.
A lot of carry pairings getting banned out. Spectre, PA, Terrorblade, Troll, all down for the count. Lifestealer and Void as well in the first phase for Liquid.
Yep.
List is getting shorter and shorter, but Jug still in the pool that Nico Baby had played. The Slark, the Troll. And then, yeah, both mid laners still under the covers. Liquid's draft, on the other hand, a classic combo. Mars Arena into Dark Willow Terrorize, a combo as old as time, at least as old as these heroes have been in the game, and Liquid are no strangers to running it.
You can see from Alliance's bans, they're looking at just securing the Slardar's lane, because we've seen so many times actually teams pick Slardar, but they don't think about the TV, the Troll, the Drop. Like, these are like the biggest 3 heroes in my opinion against Slardar, so they automatically give S4 this like lane he can play, and it will open up Nico Baby to have this free aggression on his side where his team will be able to win these early fights in lane, and then suddenly you have this like farm potential where your jungle will be kind of invaded, because traditionally IO Slardar, they're the ones dictating the early portions of the game because they're forcing out rotations and reactions due to their kind of laning presence.
I think if you're looking at Slardar alone, you can counter him with a Troll or something like that, and it's good ban. But when you think about Wisp and Slardar, man, that's a little bit of a different story, because it's way more difficult to actually contain. Liquid, they go with an Undying. He's pretty good versus this combo because of the decay, because of the Soul Rip. He can mess them up quite well. He as well has to be careful, because a couple of those bashes coming from level 3, and he's susceptible to dying just as any other support. If you're Alliance, what I think you're lacking right now is some setup, and you can get that on position 5 even for FNG. Just get some hero that sets up the relocate ganks throughout the game. You don't have to focus yourself and like sacrifice everything else to make the strategy work, but it's nice to have something like that in your draft. It's like in that last one for Liquid, they had Duel plus Haunt and Storm Spirit afterwards, right? And a Duel that usually wouldn't have worked is activated by the high mobility heroes. So that's always something that you think about as a Wisp, as a drafter that gets Wisp.
I feel like a Witch Doctor and Ench might be on the books for Alliance just for like the laning phase. I'll go for Jakiro. Oh, F&G classic there. All sure. Right. Laning praise. Laning phase presence. There you go. Just merging some words there, but all right.
It's the strong hero versus the Dark Willow in the lane as well.
Yeah.
Strong hero versus almost anything, but versus Dark Willow in particular, and it enables your carry to be a little bit greedier, because Jakiro is just a power laner. Dragon Knight.
Wait, so what is it about the Jakiro Willow matchup that you like? Is it just a lot of ground targeted spells that she can't shout?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Everything goes through her Dark Realm, so you can you can finish her off, stop her from TPing out. It's and Jakiro is just a very strong laner. So.
Has shortcomings, though. Is not particularly popular, though whenever you get your hands on objective, Jakiro definitely exceeds at pushing, and Liquid, trying to repair their own shortcomings with pushing, go with the DK. Death Prophet is still an availability, if Alliance want to do that, but definitely a high armor hero who shouldn't worry too much about getting insta-gibbed by Slardar's Corrosive Haze.
The thing is, though, with Liquid, I feel like even though this is a casual DK pick, they are second, so you don't even know if they're gonna where they're gonna lane it, right? Like realistically, they could just slap it in the safe lane if it's the perfect game to put a lone druid mid, for example. I'm not suggesting that, but I think that's kind of where Liquid's positioned right now in their draft. So for Alliance, okay, they go for Jug. I would say any hero that can abuse the lack of kind of reliable stun they have right now would go into a mix. So I was going to say Slark, and then they go for Juggernaut, that kind of idea, which is it's just going to have a free game so far. These supports just hate playing with any kind of BKB innate hero. So yeah, Alliance, they've got that early lane pressure with the Ice Slardar. It unlocks the Juggernaut to have his farm, and then once they get online with Slardar, they're going to have these blink initiations covered with the Jakiro stun on top. And yeah, I kind of like what Alliance has just to get into their face, but they need to be able to have that one active mid hero, like Lizard was saying, that he wanted it in the support role, but now they're going to look for it in the core role, which is, can they start the fight? Can they look for that relocate? Because they can either two ways to fight. They can either start a fight, relocate in, or they can just run around the map together and just abuse like the move speed advantage they have and the fact that they can just move quicker than an Undying can, a DK can at Mars.
A lot of analysts talk about how when there's like a Pango in the off lane, then once the Pango hits 6, then you pretty much have to evacuate as the safe lane carry because you can't really deal with Rolling Thunder. Is that as true with like a Mars arena? So picking something like a Jug means that like, oh, okay, I can leave Nico Baby alone for a little bit longer than usual because he's got a Blade Fury get out of jail free card for this arena, and Io and Slaughter can just operate independently for a little bit later in the game.
Yeah, it's the Lifestealer and the Jug situation, right? These two heroes are always a little bit more difficult to dominate and shove out of the lane. You can see even teams having different strategies, or maybe it's not something that you talk about beforehand, but you just feel it. When you start the game, you see if it's a Spectre on that tier 1, you want to take that tier 1 by minute 9, maybe even with the first Carti or the second one. If it's a Lifestealer, however, or a Juggernaut, it's a little bit more risky to rotate in and start making those moves that early on. So it changes the game a little bit. It definitely makes your life a lot easier versus Mars. Again, another hero that works well versus Dark Willow. And right now they have pretty much all 4 heroes able to go through that Dark Realm, which is quite all right. Morphling wasn't banned out as well for them, something that I thought they might get their hands on because they're playing versus an Undying too, but they go with the Jug instead. Actually, Morphling banned out by them. I'm blind.
Is it Invoker? Okay, for Lina. Okay,
Alina,
sure.
yeah.
Okay. So go for Alina now, and I think the key thing here, the difference from Alliance, is they're going for 3 lanes that can actually go aggressive and have that potential to win the lane. Quite often nowadays, we see more kind of static laning setups where they're happy to go even and play on their team timings. But with Jakiru Juggernaut, that has potential outplay against a Mars and a Willow. Io Slaughter, of course, very aggressive. And then Lina, traditionally in most mid matchups, has constant chip. So I think Alliance is looking towards having that strong laning phase, having that early rush with the Slaughter, looking for that timing, and just battering down towers with Juggernaut and just that kind of window to go. We can actually move through the map and we're not locked into like a Sven ult where we kill someone and go, all right, boys, reset, wait for the next spell. This is the key change between game 1 and game 2. They're looking to be active from lanes and that mid game.
Meanwhile, Liquid probably looking for something to prevent this incredibly potent push that Alliance have geared up right now, because wave clear is not Liquid's strong point quite yet. Still don't know where this DK is going. Could be mid lane, could be safe lane. Given the mid lane matchup against Alina, DK doesn't necessarily... Oh, wow. Medusa reemerges. Mike
Beautiful.
Medusa. Okay.
Yep. Okay. You can see from the bans from Alliance as well, they kind of thought the DK might be safe lane because they're banned like TA, for example. And then Liquid just go, all right, let's put the DK mid and just pick up this hard carry win condition because Alliance, it's all about physical damage right now, and Medusa happily plays into all of that. And even if Alliance win this early kind of rotation game and they look towards high ground, if the Medusa is able to run away from that aggression, get even just Manta +1, this high ground siege will be near impossible in my opinion because it's only Juggernaut poking his head up, right? And when you have Medusa, Mars, DK stun, it's gonna be difficult. So Alliance again in the same position where they have to win this kind of early portion of the game and make pretty much no misplays. Otherwise, they are just going to fall victim to being outscaled and they can't ever really siege high ground without the perfect pickoffs.
Lizard, which way you lean in between Liquid and Alliance as we see these two drafts?
I'm completely for Alliance. I can definitely see some Medusa coming in late and winning the game, but Liquid have drafted themselves again into this lineup that has to execute these teamfights perfectly well with all your ultis and Mars Arena and Dark Willow, but the chaos effect that Alliance is bringing to the fight, you have this Slardar running around, you have Chug, you have Lina as well with the burst damage. It just looks much easier for me to play the Liquid game, even though it can get scary versus Medusa. I believe still that they're able to close this game out, or even if it does go late, I think Alliance can take it.
Liquid found a victory in game 1, leaning on a late game carry. Maybe they'll find success in game number 2. You can always check egb.com if you think you know which way the game's going, or click the banner below the stream. But how about we just jump right in? Game number 2 with Killer Pigeon and Pycat.
And, and hopefully a game full of chaos. Because that's definitely someone that Liz hit on to initially there, Pycat, right? It's like there's someone chaotic about Alliance's draft. But I don't know about you. I look at this. I think there's a lot of kind of anarchy to the team fight for both sides, right? With the Medusa, with the Willow, with the Undying. And then the other side with this Jakiro, with the Lina and the Slardar.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of team fight on Liquid. You know, they've got the Mars Arena with the Willow ult. They've got the Duza ult. There's a Tombstone in there. It's gonna be hard to fight into all of this. But Alliance do have a very fast-paced draft. They've got the Slaughter with the IO, of course, the Juggernaut. Kind of Juggernaut being sort of similar to PA in that sense that you want either this steroid or the Slaughter type hero to just, you know, remove armor from enemies so that you feel stronger. And I don't know, I actually do like Alliance's draft here. I feel like they have easy Roche taking. They can take towers with this THD Juggernaut. There's a lot of healing. I think Limp is on a very comfortable hero. I think Alliance just need to play a solid game here, not do anything completely strange. I think they should be coming out ahead on this one.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there, right? You mentioned Limp in that situation. Last game, we were kind of critical of him. Obviously, he's no stranger to DP, but something like the Lina, there's definitely that kind of more flashy, wham, bam, thank you, man, pick off after pick off kind of approach to the game that we know Limp extremely excels at.
Yeah, and he can also scale into some solid right clicks here, right? With the Slaughter and everything. I don't know. I just think there's some nice. There are a lot of nice tools for fighting for Alliance for quite a long time. I wouldn't even be opposed to seeing Nico Baby. He could even go into something like a Manta Diffusal this game and just be very active. Let Nina do a large portion of the damage. I think since it's Alliance, I don't think that's going to be the case. Most likely it's just going to be the Battle Fury, with maybe the Massive Madness. But I do think he could play a bit more active on this Juggernaut this game if he wanted to.
Yeah, we do see a lot of teams, they opt for the backup plan, right? Like, you go for the Battle Fury over the Diffusal because if you screw up, if someone goes wrong early on, like it did last game for Alliance, all of a sudden, you're up against this carry that's just going to outscale you like crazy.
Yeah, the only thing is I actually do think that you scale much better. Of course, you don't farm as fast with the Diffusal Manta as you do with the Battle Fury, but the way you scale in the game versus Dusa is, I would say, quite favorable, I suppose, with the Battle Fury. But we will see. There are plenty of ways to go about this.
Yeah, they don't have a great save against the Onslash, actually, when I think about it. So it doesn't feel like there's an easy way that DK can feel safe.
No, and that's kind of the spooky thing, And there's also this THT. I think THT is actually a pretty good hero against Dusa. Dusa is very slow, and you kind of move in predictable ways, which is it's very easy to set up ice paths and macropyres onto this Medusa.
Also can mess with their kind of initiation, right? Like, they want to put down the arena, play in the arena, and this chaos that comes out from the macropyre and ice path can screw the plan. The panel hit a good point around Tiger in this game, right? Like, all these heroes have ways of screwing over the Dark Willow. It shouldn't be an easy Willow game by any means.
No, there are plenty of ways to kind of get to that Willow, even though she's in the ethereal form.
They do have the neat combo, of course, with the, terrorize while they're in arena, and it's like, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself.
They've got plenty of nice
harder.
combos. Yeah, no, they've got plenty of nice combos with their team fighting, with the Tombstone, with the Stone Gaze, like, you have to run, but you can't run because there's arena, there's like a lot of nifty kind of combos here. FNG might be in a little bit of trouble here. He's just gonna walk it off.
Armor, slaps it off. And the other thing to kind of highlight about that big team fight is it's not one of these really elegant kind of, if everything's done perfectly, it's amazing type team fights, right? It's kind of interchangeable parts, shall we say. They don't really usually need 2, maybe 3 max components in a big fight.
I feel like if they just, like, all of their players, they just put their heads on the keyboards and just roll their heads on the keyboards, I feel like, the team fight should kind of execute itself. Some spells will be pushed, some heroes will die.
It's the basic test these days.
It's all coming together, it's all coming together nicely, and then you just see, like, Koikva in the background, he's just, like, rolling his head over his keyboard.
They're just stomping on his keyboard at that point. All the buttons, guys, I think I got them. While, you know, Alliance, they're very much this define pickoff, me kill, please don't come as 5, right? Like, and they should be able to utilize that quite well, especially with the IO, and maybe if Limp goes towards the boosted travel build, we see a lot on League.
Yeah, I think this bottom lane, as soon as the Slaughter gets to maybe level 4 here, I think even level 3 could be sufficient. The Undying does have boots though, but once they get level 4, I think this lane could get really dicey for Liquid. Dusa already low on mana. They are gonna find Nico Baby though. That was a solo kill.
Yeah, he got the spear back towards the tower, and the spin wasn't good enough. In fact, if it wasn't for the creeps, he might have just limped away from that courtesy of the healing wall, but nicely done by Boxy. Now they might find another one as FNG's too far up without assistance. Boxy doesn't have any mana.
And the bottom lane though, they are going on to Mickey here.
They keep trying this. It's been very awkward. Like, you see them get Mickey very close to death, but then they realize, hold on a sec, I'm missing 12 strength. This is bad. Well, if they get rid of the one that keeps getting all the strength, maybe. I don't see how you easily get Insania here. He's been playing pretty well position-wise on this lane.
Yeah, I feel like they could have done a lot better in this bottom lane here so far. On Alliance's side, I think they've given up a bit too much farm to Dusa. I think a lot of it is courtesy of Insania, though. He's done a good job at kind of positioning himself well and stealing strength and everything, making their life difficult.
Yeah, it looks like he was screwing their pulls a lot as well, so I don't think they ever like saw a good opportunity to just pull the creeps back. Because admittedly, if you get Nikke near your tower, and Io Slardar, any hero who doesn't have good mobility is going to die. And speaking of which, they're trying for it now while Insania's not here. He is under tower though, so nothing to give up. I guess the awkward issue here is that you just spend these resources, but you know who's coming back. You know who's going to make your life hell as Insania's back on the lane again.
Yeah, Limp though is at least having a very good time so far in the mid. He's up by about 600 gold. So he's having a very nice game. You know, looking probably to get sort of active with this Treads build we saw yesterday as well. Treads Hules into some sort of right-click scaling.
Yeah, he gets on average, I think he's probably like out the mid laners. He's one of the most consistent that goes to the Treads. We do see a lot opt for the boots of travel play. Like I said earlier, you would be tempted, right? When you got the IO as well, you're like, well, okay, we can always have this positional advantage in terms of like mobility around the map compared to Liquid.
Yeah, I think the Treads are kind of nice. They make you a bit stronger. Top.
Oh no! Oh! Turn around opportunity for Limp as he arrives in the top lane. Boxy has got the arena, but no mana to cast it, and he's rotated here for nothing. That's now twice that Nico Baby's got caught out in awkward situations because he was really trying to take this big fat stack.
This is, I mean, this not just becoming an issue. This is an issue for Alliance. The fact that their safe lane is doing so poorly. I think they're gonna need rotations. They got the Limp rotation there, but it didn't really result in anything. They need more than this. Taiga might just die here.
Yeah, but he gets the FNG kill first, so he's not feeling too bad considering that's the mid. Now having to be dragged to the out lane, so now Juggernaut has become the new mid. Well, bot, Mike, this is the bigger one as well. Soulrip can help him out somewhat, but he's got no mana. Chase him down, the body blocks are good from Hanskin, and that's an easy pick onto the Dusa.
Yeah, this is what they really needed. They finally get the lane to a place where, you know, the creeps are close to their tower, so they can just run down this Dusa. And there's just zero chance that Dusa can fight this Slardar outside of his tower. The bash, the overcharge, the stun. It's not a very fair fight.
Still, there's no denying that how this lane should have went for the first 7 minutes. Dusa's kind of had an easy time with this jog. Like I said, he's now going to try and chill in the mid, farm up what he can, but I mean, the problem is you're stuck here. You're just taking so much damage constantly from the Dragon Knight. I don't know if I'd say this is an easier lane for you to CS in due to the refire.
You might feel a bit more comfortable than in this this off lane versus this Mars hero. I have a lot of PTSD from that hero.
Yeah. Well, how would you measure them in comparison to Nico Baby's death so far?
I mean, it's roughly the
average?
same. Nah, it's like, you know, I've been there. I know the feeling.
I think the
This
big
guy
one
with a
always catches
spear.
people off. And it's not even the spear active, like the ability, right? It's also the God's Rebuke. It always catches you off guard because you don't want to have to spin, for example, this Juggernaut just to get away from that slow, but you know you're traded badly.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so incredibly difficult to trade with that hero.
I think, isn't there like there's something to do with, if I remember correctly, like Boxy, if you want, he could take 1 point and Bulwark. I don't think they fixed it where if you just stick facing the direction in which he initiates from Omni Slash, all the attacks are done from the front.
I think the way Omni Slash works, I feel like I had this discussion, unless it's been changed. I feel like it's you get 1 slash from the front, 1 from the back. I think that's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I heard there was a bug. I don't like they must have fixed it. Where it was something to do with like if you just trigger Bulwark active and stay in the direction he goes from.
Okay.
They will count. I assume it's got though, because that does sound like quite a weird and randomly busted interaction.
Dota mechanics, you know.
Hey man, we've had our share. Like, identifying the part that I'm sure has messed with OCDs yesterday, which is the 84% evasion on a PA when it should be 85.
Oh yeah. The interesting mechanics. Dota 2. It's gonna be a double damage on Nico Baby here. Potentially they could make some sort of rotation. I think they kind of want to hold on to this tower, or at least get a deny. Maybe try to get a kill on Koiko here.
A bit too predictable though. He needed limp there, but he at least ensures they get the deny on the tower. So some much needed gold into the Alliance lineup. Limp still sitting at the top.
FNG manages to dodge the spear there. Very nice kind of sidestep, and Boxy might be in trouble. No, he misses the stun.
Oh no, if they got damaged Ice Path there.
Yeah.
I mean, it is Boxy's best hub. I guess he was gambling, because I don't think Ice Path had been thrown out yet, so he's kind of gambling on, like, is this going to be the 2-point Liquid Fire build? But it feels like a lot of Jakiros, they go for that early point Ice Path.
And Esro's queued up the axe, so I'm not going for this early blink. He wants to become more of a core at this one.
Yeah, you just front line, you run in, and I guess in this type of game, like, you think of how powerful the stuns are, that's resistance is going to make it very hard to keep you down and out of the fight as the Slardar.
Yeah, the only thing being that they do have both the Mars, the Arena, and sort of the Stone Gaze. Of course, the duration of the Stone Gaze might be slightly lower, but it's just that it lasts for such a long time, it's still hard. But yeah, no, I mean, as for if he gets to this axe, he's going to become quite powerful in this game. And Alliance might actually have a tri-core lineup.
We see whenever Slardar gets picked, it's just this combo, right? There are certain combos that kind of break Dota. And, you know, when you think of IO over the years, it's been like the gyrocopter for a long time. But this new Slardar, he's definitely up there, at least the top 5 for IO combos. I'd say maybe even top 2 at this stage.
Yeah, no, the Slardar has been, you know, he's on the rise. He's getting up there. And Esper is actually quite close already. He's already halfway to the axe. He's quite farmed.
All this is happening. Liquid strike at the top. This time they will get the FNG kill. Force the rotation out. Nico bit.
Nico baby?
That's an ambitious Omni Slash. The reload in was way too late. They were opting and hoping that Quickfoot was going to just panic and run in the tree line. They keep Limp away with the spear as well. He's pumping that LSA. He can't find a target though. They're going to chase him down. Limp able to move away as the haste is still running barely though. The Dragon Tail stun's now going to come out. Onto S4, we'll be able to stun up enough to move away from the trees, so no kills given over. But considering what Alliance invested for this power initiation, get nothing out of it. It's got to feel pretty awkward.
Yeah, I don't know. It looked very awkward from Alliance. You know, I'm not sure if Nico Baby expected to actually deal just a lot more damage. This is a Dragon Knight level 10 with maxed out Dragon Blood. He's got the 12 additional armor. 2 bracers and an Ironwood tree. You're not gonna kill this guy with just an Omni Slash. Even if he's amped, he's not gonna die.
It looked like he was hoping that maybe Koikfa would panic a bit and go into the tree line when they were reloading, but Koikfa saw the damage. He's like, okay, this is never gonna kill me. I'm just gonna casually walk away. If the Jug keeps chasing us, he's gonna find himself in our territory. As a result, in the end, Liquid gaining even more as they finally bring down that tower. Because S4 has still been farming his heart off in the bot lane. He's just back there, and he's getting close to that Ags you mentioned. So that's kind of maybe the bounce back point if these ganks keep failing, is that eventually you are going to have this unassailable Slardar.
Yeah, I mean, Nico Baby is finding some farm here on the Ancients, and S4 just keeps sitting down here. He's just trying to get to this Axe. They have FNG parked up top. There's going to be a reload onto Koikwa here.
Moving in, and again, that's the problem. I mean, well, similar problem, shall we say, where the reload isn't able to connect at all.
Yeah. I'm just curious. The Axe is obviously going to be very useful for S4. It's just they do sort of lack a playmaker right now. They have the Lina. I mean, I think Limp. It would be nice to see him get a bit active and try to set up some kills. You know, you have the Yules.
But instead, it's them getting active on S4. And you say like imagine you had a blink in this game, you'd be able to be doing what Quakewood just done right there, which is just find these more greedy targets and punish them.
Yeah,
I
really like the fact that Koikwa went for this early blink. You know, this double bracer treads blink. It seems so nice. You're very tanky. You have sufficient mana with the mana regen talent. You got some raindrops. Just this DK is.
You've got to do so, right? Like you don't need to be this kind of scaling core necessarily. You need to just be a cheap form of initiation.
Yeah, this DK can do shit. You know, that's what feels good.
Thumbs up and cool. Like you like. Mind this. If they initiate a meal, it'll cost them. They respect the fact that Alliance, if they have numbers, they can still fight. While the Juggernaut may not be ready to regularly participate, neither is Mika.
Nah, the Dusa doesn't really want to participate in this game. Oh, there's... Yeah, okay, Nico B just pours out. He recognizes the danger of the situation. Boxy does not have a port right now, though.
No, they don't know that, though. Well, they can see it in that report, but in terms of TP cooldown, they don't know about that. And Boxy does now have a blink as well, so they might make this kill happen on S4. Getting close to that Ags with 1,000 gold out. Lina would be an even better target, but the Iron not being there, like the reload might come too late to respond to what Liquid are about to do.
S4 might be in trouble, but there is a smoke behind. They can reload in here.
Numbers for Liquid. Jump in, stun's going to be there, terrorized. The arena goes down. They're going to be running into the wall, clapping their face against an unmovable opponent as the arena is able to slay two. Tiger actually gets both the kills. S4 chased into the tree line will be stunned up. And Quickbite's got the Dragon Tail. Now throw out. Nice reload back though. Will get him away. Nice save by Hanskin to minimize the casualties.
Yeah, and the thing is, right now, just looking at this Alliance's draft, I feel like, you know, this is a very fast-paced draft, but the way they're playing it though as if they really want to go late into this game. You know, they are building this Mask of Madness Battle Fury on the Juggernaut. They're going for the Ags on Slardar. And yes, Limp's build is very active, but he's pretty much the only one right now.
They're trying to get active again, but it's like... I mean, you're trying to get active around this jug that is just going for that more greedy on the farm later, but it feels like right now, Liquid, they kind of got Alliance's number. They see the moves they're making, they know it's all too predictable. They also know that at this stage, it feels like if Alliance on 5 and initiating, how do they kill anyone?
I mean, the issue for them is initiating, right? They have the Lina with the Yules. They don't have a blink on Slardar. The Ice Path is level 2. Juggernaut has no defusal. How are you gonna get on top of a target, you know? You need to run in and... I mean, Liquid are not gonna just let you run in and kill them.
No, it's like you think, oh, well, S4 will have this Axe, he'll splash, he'll move quicker to initiate or something like that. It's like you already got an IO. I don't feel like speed is getting in has necessarily been his issue in terms of movement speed. It almost just feels like one of those scenarios where the carry thinks building data lists is a good idea every game. It's like, well, if I just have even more casual mobility, I can just do whatever I want. As you said, Liquid, they won't let him, especially with the amount of stun control they've got. It can easily just put him in an uncomfortable position in these fights time and time again.
Yeah, I'm just curious if Alliance think that they're gonna win this late. I mean, if they do believe that they're just gonna take this, if it goes really late, then it's understandable to do what they're doing. But to me, it looks a little bit sketchy. Both the Dusa and the DK will scale very well as the the Mars, they're all gonna become incredibly tanky. Boxy looks like he's just gonna queue up a Lotus Orb. And, you know, DK kind of just innately tanky. Same goes for Dusa, so...
Yeah, and look at what Mike's going for next. Going for the MKB. So there's going to be this huge power spike if you wait around too long. There's going to be this questionable element of whether Alliance can match up to that. I mean, yes, you've got that corrosive haze. But even then, you got to keep in mind, there is the fact about those independently tanky cores you mentioned, but also having that soul rip save or the terrorize to reset these fights. Liquid aren't disarmed just because there's a little bit of extra damage coming that way.
Yeah, and you know, this portion of the game has felt a little bit weird for Alliance. I feel like the next one is about to get even more strange. Now they just finished the Battlefield on the Jug, so now he can finally start farming at a faster rate. But, I mean, Liquid are ready to play the game. They have 2 Blink Daggers. There's 3 Blink Daggers even. There's Willow, DK, Willow, DK, and Mars all have Blinks. And they're just ready to run at you.
Hanskin unable to save Limp's life there. They just make it so easy to pick off targets. And then you just keep looking and you go, okay, S4, got the axe. What's the plan now? I will farm Blink Dagger. Gustav, we need you right now. We've lost more heroes in the middle. I will farm Blink Dagger. I'll be ready soon. Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing, right? They're taking this incredibly early game active lineup and they're turning it into a very, very slow one. They've just been farming for 20 minutes. They haven't really tried to make any sort of moves whatsoever.
Now they're going to try, but this is the problem with the axe. Most of these heroes, they just see you coming and they cast their spells. And you either prematurely stun so you got the stats resistance, or you have no way of locking them down. I feel like we just need some sad music playing as we watch S4 in this game. It feels like he is going to be the headless chicken where he'll feel so close to catching a target and then they'll just escape every time.
I mean, once he gets to the Blink, it's going to be a lot different. Limp also getting close to his DKB. They're going to have, you know, they're going to be quite strong with these items. Once they get them, they will be able to find some initiations. They can definitely take fights.
At the same time, when you look at the items that are going to come up in Liquid, they've almost got the BKB and Quick Foot, while Arena going down in the bot lane. Dusa has got the Demon Edge, so she's getting very close to that MKB as well. It's not like Liquid are not going to have things to match these timings with the lines.
No, you can though finally see kind of Nico Baby is starting to catch up to this Dusa. You know, he might even pull ahead at some point. He does have the extra mobility from the IO. A little bit surprised he's going here for this SNY on top of the relocate.
Yeah, top of the relocate, which will get him even more money as they'll look to kill off Tiger. But the trade is not good there. You get the Willow, but it costs you your Slaughter, and now you use your reload as well. So Liquid, they might just try and find another independent pick-off now that you no longer have your SWAT response team.
It should be okay for Alliance. There's some bounty on the Willow, so in the end, just a kind of whatever trade. I think Alliance, they need to start looking towards this Roche. That should be the next objective. They, of course, want to get that Blink as soon as possible on Slaughter, but now already you see there is a Lotus Orb on the Mars. He's queuing up the Solar Crest. Boxy really understanding this hero very well. I like seeing him play this hero. I think he just understands kind of his role and what to do.
It's the difference in the offlane. It feels like that's the story of this series, right? It's like last time we said maybe S4 could have got away with being a bit more greedy, and then, you know, Boxy had the right items. And once again, like on his hero, he fully understands his role, because not only is this a decent Lotus game, it also means S4's initiation can be kind of ruined, because usually you stun, corrosive haze, and like look for a quick target to kill.
Yeah, and now it's just going to become a lot more difficult for Alliance to do that.
They might lose heroes here. Smoke's going to come out. Luckily for Alliance, they have vacated the area with anything super valuable. The FNG isn't really found out. Dragon on dragon action, they can come out ahead. They will need to push in with this because they did use the Elder Dragon form. I don't know if Alliance feel easy about sneaking a Roche here. I don't think they're going to try and capitalize on this. Well, I'm feeling safe.
Yeah, Limp might get caught here. He's gonna get out.
Knows something's wrong. But he reacts too soon. Pushed back into the spear to then be hit into the wall. Down to half HP. BKB gets out of a box. He turns away Lewis to reflect the damage, but Limp has that magic immunity. Boxy healed up. He's going to stand his ground. Too many heroes here. So run him down and kill him off. Oh, the rest of Liquid will look to get out of this. This did give a lot of time for Quake for the poke and product power in the other Dragon form. Might lose more now. S4. Gonna chase forward. Can't quite see him, and Tiger will scare away Nico Baby. So it looks like Liquid supports will make it out.
Yeah, there's that little bit of a extra boxy Rambo, you know, that sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's a miss. This one didn't really work out. His teammates were not really ready to rotate as quickly as he kind of would have hoped. And so he just ends up
It's
dying.
not the worst thing, though, right? Like, you give over some gold, sure, but that's the 10-second BKB used. Force the reload. It's 4 heroes coming across. BK is still farming while all that's happening, so...
No, it's not the worst thing, but you really don't want to be giving away kills like that. It just slows you down. Your momentum gives away gold and map. They brought it down now to a 1k advantage. Alliance 1-2k. Just run. And there's the Blink Dagger now on S4, finally.
Yep, Quakefoot tried to save the day. I don't know if they can jump this PK though. He's a little bit too bulky. He has the PKB. S4 will just prep the stun way. Back off. Liquid just trying to zone them away. Realizing that this is a golden opportunity to take Roche now with the MKB PK. And Alliance feel out of position to maybe respond. They're going to try now with smoke. Wards are down.
It's not going to be very easy to relocate into this, though, I think. It might become a little bit hard.
Too predictable. They jump in first. The stun comes out. Limp. He's activated that BKB. Finally gets it off, but the damage is too high. BK chasing forward. The right disappointment might just be enough to bring him down. Lina dead. And Alliance try with a backstab from Terrorize, pushing them away, splitting up Hanskin from his reload target. He's going to be left alone. The other side of the map as they fight here. S4 being brought low and down. The Omni Slash doing a lot of work, but Tiger will fall now. Up against the outside of the wall was good enough to bring down Nico Baby. Quick was still hunting for, look for more. The buyback was used by Limp. Won't have to die for this, but when there's 2 dragons, there's a rule here. One has to die, and it's going to be FNG again. As he gets picked off, they'll return to the pit. Another good team fight for Team Liquid, and Alliance just running out tools at their disposal to fight back.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it just looked awkward because it's like they're running around this bottom lane with this Jug Wisp, and it's gonna be very hard to relocate into this fight and actually get a fight. You're only gonna have 3 heroes there. Of course, they're gonna be able to initiate onto one of your heroes, whether it's the THD or the Lina, maybe not the Slaughter, but they are gonna find this initiation. And once you come in, Nico Baby just highly overestimating how much damage this Omni Slash deals. Yes, you have Battle Fury, Mask Madness, and even an IO, but the Duza is incredibly tanky with these items. Just the mana shield. You're not gonna make it through this Duza, and he just gets speared right away after. You got the Mask of Madness going. You're losing armor and you can't spin.
It feels highly reactionary, but it feels too slow of a reaction, right? Like, you compare it to last game without this, there was this Spectre that they were up against, Liquid had, right? And if you were to jump anyone, instantly, like, Spectre could reinforce the fights. But there is a delay on these reloads, and Liquid proven time and time again, they have the necessary burst to make that fight a mathematical awkward oddity, should we say, for Alliance. It's usually one member's already dead by the time they arrive with the IO.
I feel like the way Alliance playing this game, I think they're just being way too split. There's always FNG wandering around alone because he has no one to play with. S4 has basically been trying to farm his Axe Blink for the, he tried to farm them for 25 minutes, and he finally got them. Limp doesn't really have anyone to play with either, and then it leaves Nico Baby with Hanskin. They're just running around trying to farm, and there's no clear objective. It looks like they don't have any goals in mind. It's just, we want to get to these items so that we can, do this. When Liquid are just playing, all right, we want to do this. And while they're doing these things, they are getting gold, they are getting kills, and that gives them items. It gives them map control, it gives them timings. So kind of Alliance looking like they're just playing to get items, whereas Liquid are just playing the game, and subsequently, as a result of playing a well played out game, they're getting what they want.
Yeah, it's kind of like Alliance playing a venture capitalist, and Liquid, they're actually playing Dota as they're pushing into the base now. And Alliance, they are here to respond. You've got Nico Baby splitting on the other side of the map to try and get some extra gold, but you know this tower is eventually going to fall. Heck it. It's making it quite hard for Liquid though. Jules reflected back. They've already lost S4. DK with the casual right clicks able to run him through. This is going to be a lane. Nico Baby does not feel confident about fighting, especially now that they've lost this stuff. But luckily for them, they have the tier 2, so you can only get one lane out of this. Unlikely to try and force tier 4s.
Yeah, it's kind of a silver lining here. They're only gonna get the one side. At the same time, Koipe is getting closer to his AC. There's now Scotty completed on Mickey, going for the butterfly next. And yeah, I mean, Alliance might have another fight in them, I think, just depending on how it goes. But they really need to start thinking about how to actually initiate onto Liquid and how to try to make these kills happen, because they are just getting completely outfarmed and outmaneuvered on the map.
Oh no. Nico Baby got found. He's got a TP. Not going to use it though. He's just going to back up towards his team. Looks like Liquid. They're moving Nico forward. Nico Baby taking a lot of damage here. LSA stun. Nice movement across to the back line. Able to get one kill, but the Omni Slash ended far too fast. He only gets the Willow. Now he's pinned to a tree. Nico Baby got the spin again. Trying to move away. Healing what's going to be at the IO as well. We'll get him out. But that was close to a GG situation. I mean, the Omni Slash shorting out like that for a Willow kill was not what he was after.
No, it's really not.
Like he had
I think once again he was just going for this incredibly ambitious Omni Slash. It's though as if he thinks he's gonna cut through the Dusa with the Aegis and kill her twice. I'm not sure. It's just it looks very awkward.
They're so deep this time though. Boxy with the BKB trying to move away. Wait for a rise, just starting to keep S4 out the equation. Nice pass going to be there. But guess what? The Deuce has arrived. BK now getting the damage out. Dishing across the fight. Hands going to be brought down. The Arena's going to go down as well. S4 can't escape. And Nico, baby, he's stuck here as well. Limp will go for the TP away and be successful. But the price is once again high. And Liquid, they just make it look so easy, so clean. Alliance just seem to lack any ability to burst any target.
Yeah, and you can just see Insania. He's just drawing the line. He's just a straight arrow towards the dire base. Miki's gonna find a double damage, as if that fight was not enough. And yeah, I mean, Liquid are just looking to kind of close this one out. Alliance, they don't really have the damage. You see Nico Baby's queuing up the Rapier. I mean, in that fight, you saw, like, there's this Mars. He gets amped up, right? The Juggernaut is hitting him. He's got all these items that he's farmed, and Mars takes 20% HP.
He buys so much time. It just feels like as soon as that BKB comes out, like, where is your damage? Your Jug is a Divine Rapier away from actually being able to do anything. Just not going to get to that stage. With DD on Mike, they aren't going to force the throne. But that's another lane down, and you know that this is the stage. Alliance, you've got one fight left in you. You really just need to get on that drum, but you need to come up with the recipe, the algorithm that cracks the Liquid code. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be Omni slashing a Willow. Definitely not going to be jumping on a Mars. You've got 3 targets left to decide upon. But I'm not sure if you're going to find Liquid split up anymore.
Yeah, and I'm also not sure that either one of those targets are kind of available to your, you know, just choosing a hero to kill. It's just not going to be that easy at this point.
No, they've ticked those ones off, Podcast. They're moving on like that. Willow, stupid, don't do that. Oh, Fox, no, we can't kill the Mars.
Duza,
Maybe the
now with the
Undying?
Butterfly. Undying has the Ghost Scepter, though.
Maybe the burst from Lina. You still catch Insane AFK from the keyboard for like 10 seconds. Really good. See, all the while, just have Tiger pumping him. Ready to screw them. S4, no! He whiffed. Well, did he? Actually went for the stun on the side on purpose. He didn't actually want to jump in, but they used the Stone Gate as a result because they thought someone else was coming. The problem is with the range, they're just going to lose Jakiro. You made a puddle on the side, but there's a bigger whoopsie made by Alliance in general. Now they're going to move in. Stun's going to come on the hands, get terrorized, flying through the hold on to it instead. Arena's good enough to get one kill, force the buyback out of the IO, and then the buyback straight away from S4 as well. They're up against the ropes. They need something godly here, and they're running out of buildings to throw at them as the final one's going to fall. Mega creeps, and it might be the game. Juggernaut stand up for a long time. Looking to move in. Omnislash going to come out. They'll just stack together, though. Willow high because she's the one susceptible. Will die in the end, but it's only one dead. LSA's going to come out. Looking at the shotgun to try and get Juicer down. They haven't even got through the mana, though. Nico Baby is just going to be ran down and killed off alongside S4. They'll chase down Hanskin. They'll team wipe Alliance, and they'll get the GG out as Liquid finally get some points in this group stage, get their first win. Oh.
Yeah, I like the way Liquid play these games, especially this one. Their draft was it's pretty cool. They have these 3 incredibly tanky cores, and then some solid team fight backup on their 2 supports. I think Tiger was he played really well this game. He was very active. I also liked what Boxy did. Also, just kind of being very active, going for this high armor build, the early Lotus Orb. Liquid